This is instant rapport building, and I'm going to go through it with you if you don't mind, okay? And if you think it's worth it, then I'll upload it and give it to you. This is assuming you've already made contact with somebody, right? Normally speaking, when people, you strike up a conversation, and Joe, you're having a lot of conversations right now, and so is Dave, right? When you strike up a conversation and you talk to them, well, what do you do? Then sooner or later, they're going to come back about, well, what do you do, right? What do you do? And that, how to answer that question is very important. And here's some phrases, some generic phrases that you can select from. Some of them you wouldn't touch with a barge pole. Some you think I could run with that. Some I might edit it, but I just want to give them to you, all right? The first one is this. This is if you are, for example, promoting the network marketing aspect of your business. I'm a professional recruiter for a company out of X. We're actually looking for people coincidentally in that area. How's the market going? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is to non-network marketers. Or I show people how to make money promoting X. It's pretty simple to promote with the results people see, or the way the market's going, or the amount of people looking for extra income, whatever you want to put in there, right? Or another one, I teach those who are more entrepreneurial how to fire their boss. All these have been proven to work, okay? These are not only from me, okay? I got these from the people who I reached out and said, what's working for you when people answer this question? And these guys are pretty successful marketers. I'm just sharing them with you, okay? I'll just put them together for you. Here's another one. I work with health or travel or internet or financial services company out of wherever it is. My main area of expertise is recruiting for the company, or I've got my own business. Never thought of doing something like that, right? Can you see any value in any of those?
Yeah, absolutely. I really like that I teach those who are more entrepreneurial how to. I mean, I wouldn't use fire their boss, but I really like that. The first part, because it kind of pre-qualifies and they associate with like, oh yeah, I'm entrepreneurial, maybe that's for me, you know.
Yeah, okay. So I mean, you could say something like, I teach those who are more entrepreneurial how to optimize their talents, or something like that, right?
Yeah, one I've been using recently is I teach people how to work smarter, not harder. And people are like, oh, that sounds good. Like it's a buzz phrase that they've heard a lot of, and it keeps the conversation going.
Yep, good. Sounds good. Now, here's some taglines you could think about. For example, this won't be for you. This is for people who are promoting travel. I promote a VIP-only vacation club where I teach busy people how to get fit and healthy. But you can change these around to fit your CEO thing. Or I show really busy people how to earn additional income on the side. That's one you could use, right? Especially if you're talking to people who are solopreneurs. One man, one woman shows. They're as busy as anything because they're doing everything on their own, right? And really, they would like to earn additional income. And quite a lot of them are bloody going broke because they can't get the things going for them, right? And so they could be interested in, I show really busy like you how to earn additional income on the side. And I'll come back to that in a minute because I'm going to show you another way to use it. Or you can say, I help people retire wealthy. It's the biggest issue in our country right now. Okay. Another one, this is if you're talking to college students at one stage. Josh, you were talking to university students. That's why I grabbed this one. I show university students or college students how to make extra money when they can't find a job. Because a lot of students are graduating and not finding a job, right? And that could be a CEO option for you. Or I teach people how to get healthy. I'll leave that one. That's for health. I show people how to create wealth in a home-based business. Whatever that is, you do that, then you'd always follow with a question. Because all these things here, all these statements to non-network marketers are simply sowing a seed with them to get a conversation going. Does that make sense? Just sowing a seed, all right? That's what I've got there, just sowing a seed. Now, if they're network marketers, well, I don't think I'll bother with this too much because I wouldn't class CEO as a network marketing opportunity, right? But Enagic is, and so just I put it in there for this purpose, right? when they say, what do you do? Here's my suggestion to you. Don't hide from the truth, because it'll be obvious and it'll turn them off. Tell them what company you're in and why you're in it. I'm in Magic. I like it because boom, right? I work with top earners that make my business for X, whatever you want to say. The key issue is come straight at them. Don't hang back. If they're a network marketer, they know you're a network marketer. Okay, don't play games with them. I'm going to leave that rapport formula because you can read it in your own time. Okay, it tells you how to do that. Here's an example of one comment message that I saw. This was a person who was reaching out to somebody and they were actually trying to pitch them. And the person responded with this: watch the videos, I'm sure the products are awesome and the training is great. By the way, I actually used to be in health and wellness and decided to make the switch to whatever it is, right? Because it was easier to promote. As there are about 4,000 companies doing health and wellness, I see the value in testimonials. Have you lost weight with your product? That doesn't make a lot of sense to you unless you go through this bit at the above, unless you go through the bit of the rapport formula, which I'll let you do that in your own time because I've got too much to share with you. Here's some questions and statements for rapport building. Simple. What do you do? How do I know when I'm talking to someone that they'd be a good client or a customer for you, right? This is to people who are in networking or non-networking. How would I know if I'm talking to someone that'd be a good customer or client? Do you think that'd get their attention? The answer is yes, because a lot of people would be interested in that, all right? And all you're doing is you're trying to find out about their business, about them, to find out. These are questions you can ask to build a conversation. What do you do? How do I know if I'm talking to someone? How long have you been doing that? How have you primarily marketed your business in the past? Okay. Have you ever considered doing something else, or are you happy where you are right now? Now, key point. If people are really happy where they are right now, don't push them. Your job is not to convince people to leave where they are if they're really happy. Just say, great to hear that. All the best. Stay in touch. Okay? Have a good day, whatever it is. And move on. But a vast majority of the people you're going to come across are not happy where they are right now. Okay? And what you've got to do is get them to share with you why they're not happy. And so these are the questions, and I'll give you more in a minute. It'll help you unravel that. Just curious, what's recently changed in your life that has you open to a side business? Now think of that one. Just curious, what's recently changed in your life that has you open to a side business? All right? Think of the possibilities and the potential of that. Another one, are you working full-time or part-time? Okay? And remember, you're sowing seeds with them. And if they're saying, well, I'm working full-time, okay, well then, if you're working full-time and you're not happy with what you're doing, are you open to looking at something else? Okay, all you're doing is sowing seeds, right? Do you enjoy what you do? The next question is 4 words, probably the most powerful 4 words I can give you when it comes to building rapport. How do you mean? In other words, whatever they answer, if, for example, I'm talking to you, Joe, about your business and you saying, yeah, look, I enjoy what I do. You know? I mean, my business is okay, but I'm working 90 hours a week, right? And it's driving me nuts because I'm not seeing my family as much as I could, whatever it is. And I'd say, how do you mean? I want Joe to dig deeper. All right? I want him to come out and say, well, it's really affecting my family, for God's sake, right? I mean, they don't see me from 5 o'clock in the morning till 7 o'clock at night time or whatever it is, right? And the relationships aren't working. I said, okay. So the how do you mean is a very powerful question. 4 simple words. And you can use this for any answer you get in any question. Make sense?
Yep.
Very simple, but you know, I want to keep this simple because simple works, all right? Next one. Why do you feel you haven't had success in the past? So, David, if you're talking to somebody, okay, whether they're a network marketer or not a network marketer, but they've said to you, you know, well, you know, I'm not interested in network marketing. And how do you say, how do you mean? Well, I tried that once before, it didn't work out. Tell me more. Why do you feel you didn't have success? What happened? Right? And all you're doing is, what you're doing is you're taking their information and giving it back to them in the form of a question, because, and that way you don't really have to remember a lot of scripts. You just, what you're doing is building on the knowledge you're getting from their answers. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Drawing out their pain points.
Correct.
Yeah,
and
in a way as well. In a way that's like, I found in the past that the questions I've asked were a bit probably too direct to get the same result, whereas like that, how do you mean? Oh, yeah, tell me more. It's quite like hands off and they just keep going. You're just directing them, and I really like that.
Or maybe tell me more about that, as you say, right? Why do you feel you had no success in the past? We mentioned here, you might think, why is this in there? What do you do for fun? Okay. Now, for example, they might say, oh, I love playing tennis. Okay. How often every week do you play tennis? Well, I don't, maybe once a week. Well, if you had the chance, Joe, to play tennis, how often would you play every week? Oh, I'm making this up. I'd play 5 times a week. 5 times a week? Would you be interested if I could show you a way to run a business and still play tennis 5 days a week? All right. That's the idea of that type of question. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, and it makes it really relatable as well. I've never even thought to do that. Like I always just, I've never actually asked someone what they wanted, what they do, and then connect it to the business.
Yeah, I mean, but what I'm trying to get you to understand is, don't just think business with them, think them as a person, okay? And what challenges them, what makes them upset, what is their problem? Because as Joe said, it's a pain point, but more importantly, not only do you uncover the pain point, but you push it back at them even more to really agitate them, but to agitate the problem, to get them to really sit in the pain they've got, right? And you say, look, I hope you don't mind me asking this, but it's important that I truly appreciate and understand you. Tell me a bit more. How do you mean by that? Okay, and by doing that, they're telling you, and the fact that they're telling you is sometimes quite painful for them, because they're expressing to you some things that's really pissing them off, so to speak, right? Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. And again, I really think it's just really easy. Like, this isn't a script. It's just really simple. And that relation factor is it's really good. I really like it.
Okay, because that's what I was trying to do. I mean, I've got some scripts for you later, but I wanted to put this up front for you because these are bullet points that you can build a conversation around and go anywhere you want. And as I said earlier, you don't have to use all the questions, just pick the ones you want, or take the questions and make your own version of them. All right? The last thing is this, I've got in there. Whatever you do, be honest. That's one of the smartest and most effective ways to recruit people in any format is to simply be totally transparent and honest with them. All right? And as I've got a note there, try to make them question what they do. In other words, what you're doing is you're sowing a seed with them saying, tell me more, okay? Get them to feel, well, maybe I'm not as happy as I should be, okay? And what they're going to do is come back to you and they say, Joe, well, tell me, what are you suggesting? Or do you have any ideas? Or what about you, Joe? I mean, the conversation's there for you. That's what I'm getting at, all right? Now, this is if somebody is pitching you, right? I'm nearly finished this bit, okay? In other words, and this is going to happen, right? You're going to reach out and boom, okay? This is the formula. 1, compliment them. 2, how's it working for them? I'll show you in a minute. 3, why you're asking, and then have a good day, awesome day. For example, say this: thanks so much for sharing your business with me. You seem to be very passionate about what you do. I'm very happy with my company leadership and I'm not recruitable. But just curious, how has this strategy been working for you? Or who taught you your social media approach? That's if they're pitching you on Facebook, right? Hope you have an awesome day. Thanks again for reaching out. Can you see that sort of response for someone who's pitching? You're telling them you're not recruitable. You're asking them, is it working for them, the strategy? And then you're thanking them again for reaching out. All right? That is a very smart way to handle someone who's pitching you.
Yeah, and I've had that happen to me before. Happens a lot on Instagram now to me, not so much Facebook. When I follow somebody new, I get like a response. It's normally automated, to be honest, but I always leave that like, hey, I always say like, I am open to looking at new stuff, but just interested, how is this approach working for you? And like, most people reply to you and they don't really know that there's a different way of doing it, you know, because most people block a text, link at the bottom, spam, 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 hope there's somebody on the other end that's going to go through it. They just don't realize there's a different way of doing it. When you show them that, you're then of interest. And I've had people that, well, I still talk to now, that may not work with me right now, but in the future, the doorway is open when they realize what we're doing is more than likely more efficient than what they're doing, you know?
Okay, point taken. Good. And by the way, that's for building rapport. I deliberately, I didn't mean to mislead you. I deliberately didn't put scripts in this one. I want to show you something. You've already got this and you may not realize it. I've got scripts here. This is already up in Dropbox for you. This is up there, targeting and approaching your ideal prospects. I'm not going to go through this now because you've already got it, but there are scripts in there of how to say it, right? What I want to draw your attention to, because I went through this quickly before, I've given you some generic groups and pages in Facebook where you can source people. One is Robert Kiyosaki, right? 1.2 million followers on this page, and nearly all of them are in the network marketing industry, and they're open and positive and love to invest in themselves. Randy Gage, this is a great group of network marketers and some business owners. He trains both network marketers and small business owners. And the people, what you do is you look at the group, you look at the page, right? And what you need to do is comment on somebody's comment, okay? And I give it to you in this document. I'm not going to do it now. I give to you in this document. This is what you can send them a message. And it starts a conversation with them. That's all. It's another easy way to source things. Local real estate, okay? Although I'm not sure after listening to Mike last week whether local real estate in Thailand is a good option. So anyway, that's by the by. Danny Johnson, more than 200,000 likes on her page. People here are very positive. Lots of network marketers and small business owners. She trains a wide range of network marketers. Most of the people here are self-starters, okay? And by the way, it's a great source of potential female recruits, if you want it. Another one, Ron Paul. Forget the political status, right? Okay. But people who follow him are self-starters and extremely in favour of being self-responsible for their future. In other words, they are prepared to take full responsibility for their success. And that's a good factor when you're looking for someone for CEO. People who are prepared to accept responsibility. The other one is The Secret and the Law of Attraction, etc. Anyway, I'm going to leave that. All right, stop sharing. Okay, in Dropbox you have, just to share with you now, how to generate quality leads on Facebook, targeting and approaching your ideal prospects, increase visibility and get more leads on Facebook, and how to create posts that attract clients. That's an audio. So that's the lead bit. And what I'd like you to do is, if there's anything in there that you want to talk about, then we'll run it in the session, all right? So let's go back to this one. Today, we're talking about building rapport. Next week, if we need to do more, we will. And then Following that time, I'm going to take you through, once you've built rapport, how's the best way to close them? And I'll give you scripts for that you can use. And then you can edit them, all right? But the building rapport bit, I deliberately wanted to just build conversations rather than give you words to try and remember. Does that make sense? All right? So, to help me now, David and Joe, this is a question without notice, guys, so bear with me. Joe, I want to start with you.
Fire away.
You've met me. Tell me in 2 minutes what CEO is all about.
Okay, so
Get my attention. Get my attention.
Okay, so I joined CEO about 6 months ago because I was looking for a new future, something to build a new skill set, and I very quickly realised that was a really good place to start off with. I had a lot of support from my mentors and coaches who straight away put me through the training academy, which takes some time because there's a lot to take in, but some really super useful information on how to get started as an internet marketer. They've got lots of really good resources within the platform and some really well chosen and carefully thought out affiliate programs. And there's just an ongoing support and a network of people to continue that support aside from the mentors and coaches. You get to see what everyone within the group's doing on a daily basis. You see the progresses, you see the fails, the goals, the gains. It's just a really good place to see how people do this business. I mean, I'd never done this business before. I've done a few other businesses, but this was all new to me. And without the support that I had in there, I would have been lost. Okay.
I would be careful. Be careful, Joe, a little bit there, right? Because if you're talking to me, first of all, I don't even know what CEO is. Right?
Okay.
I'm being constructive here. I'm not trying to destroy you.
No.
Yeah. Secondly, there's two things in my head. One, can I do this? And I just listened to you, and be quite frank, that would have scared the shit out of me because it sounds like too much training and too much work to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thirdly, not only can I do this, is this for me? Right? Now, I want, whenever you're talking to people, your focus on is why you joined it. But what you should be doing is focusing on me, why I should consider it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Point taken, yeah.
Okay. So that's why I said, just give me in 2 minutes. Something, why I should be interested. That was the point behind it, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, I don't want to script you on this, but I think if you understand what I'm trying to say to you, you can work it out yourself pretty quickly, okay? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, when whoever you're talking to, remember in their mind, and I go through a lot more of this when we talk about closing, right? But in their mind, they're thinking those two things. Is this for me, and can I do it?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
All right. Dave, what about you, mate? You want to share how would you go about it? Because you've heard what Joe and I have just spoken about.
I would say it's an online training platform where you get to learn how to market using social media. No skills or experience are required. It's all with step-by-step videos. It shows you how to start, maintain and progress the business. There's also other offers that you can take on. If you take a look at them and then you can decide if they're for you or not. If not, you can take your experience that you've learned and perhaps do something different. But if you want to make high commissions with high tickets, then this is the place to be. You also have me as your mentor, which whenever you need help, you can just drop me a message. We can have a call. The community that is involved with this as well, you get to see all the people making progress within their business, every wins, and new people coming in throughout the day. So it makes it more realistic where you get to see everything.
David, excellent. Excellent. Okay. However, I want to ask you something. Why should I join?
if you want to make a change in your life, then this is where you
But you
start.
didn't ask. Okay. Well, how would you ask me?
Is there something you want to change?
Tell me more. I mean, I'm used, you should be doing these questions, not me. You're going back to you.
Yeah.
Think about it. I mean, what you gave me was
Say
was fine, but remember the two questions: can I do this? You know, do I want to do this? Another thing is, what's in it for me anyway, right? So,
Yeah.
so you explained it pretty well, but now go back a step. And I know I'm doing this without notice to you, but this happens in real life anyway, so you've got to be prepared to roll with things, right? So go back a step. You've just met me, we're in the coffee shop, right?
Yeah.
How do you start the conversation? I mean, we've seen each other, we're sitting at the same table, I might have spilled coffee in your shoes or something or other, whatever it is, and we've agreed to sit down and talk to each other, right? So that bit's done. You haven't got to convince me to sit down with you. We've done that bit. Now,
I'm curious what's got you looking around to wanting to start maybe an online business or some sort of business?
I haven't said a word yet. You don't know what I'm thinking. I mean, I don't even know what you do, right? All I know is you just spilled coffee on my shoes, right? So we're sitting down to sit down and talk about it, right? So what I'm saying is you need to ask me a question. The question is, I mean, be natural, Dave. What do you do?
What do you do for a living?
Yeah, blah, 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 blah. And then, as I said in tonight's session with you, okay, if they ask, what do you do, then you can use some of that script, some of those ideas I gave you, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Then, and you sow seeds with me. So in that 15 minutes over coffee, you're not going to try and sell me, okay, a business opportunity with CEO. What you want to do is build an opportunity to keep talking to me. That's the secret, okay? Don't try and rush it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think what's a good thing to remember is that the idea of the first exposure is just to get the next one. So like that first meeting at the coffee shop, chatting, it's not to close them. And it's the same online. Like the first time you have a conversation, you don't want to be like trying to close them in that first one. That will happen occasionally, but rarely. So you just want to sow the seeds enough. So if you like talk about the CEO movements, like a training platform, we offer tools, products, and everything that you need, regardless of where you are in life right now, to make a full-time income on the internet and build the life that you actually want. They'll be like, oh, like, what's that? You know, so like you're just setting up for the next one.
I agree conceptually, but Josh, you might not even mention CEO at all in that first meeting.
Okay.
Okay. What you're doing is you're trying to create some curiosity in me, and at the same time find out what I'm all about. Find out where I am. They're the questions I gave you tonight to ask to find out, am I happy doing what I'm doing? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. And then when they ask you what you're doing, you simply say, whatever you want to come up with. I gave you some tonight to talk about, right? But you don't mention the company. All you do is just keep it conversational. And by the way, I would always be the first to end the conversation. Okay? What I'd say is, David, been lovely to meet you, okay? But listen, mate, I've got a meeting in about 20 minutes, but I'd love to catch up with you again. So what's the best way to contact you, okay? Can we do it on Facebook, or you got a telephone call, whatever it is, okay? I'd love to know more about you, and I've enjoyed it. And by the way, next time I'll put coffee on your shoes, okay? Or whatever, just have a bit of fun with it. Can you see what I'm getting at there? So in other words, that first meeting is to simply build, as Josh said quite rightly, build the opportunity to keep talking.
Mm-hmm.
And I would deliberately cut it short. Don't get too enthusiastic. Cut it short, you know, because people, especially online, people expect people to pitch them. And when you're talking to them the first time, I can tell you, Joe, they don't trust you. I mean, you might be the nicest guy in Buriram, mate, but they don't know that, okay? And as far as they're concerned, you've reached out to them. They haven't reached out to you. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they're waiting for the pitch. And when you don't pitch, all of a sudden they think, geez, this Joe's different. Yeah, well, I wouldn't mind talking to you again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you surprised them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think as well, one thing I've noticed is like a lot of people, I don't know whether it's just the demographic I target, but it's almost as if they're testing you to see if it's real. Like, and if you don't follow up in like 2 days or 1 day or whenever you say you would, they're just like, it's like their way of qualifying you to see if you're a real person. Because if you're not going to follow up. And if you're not passionate, you won't follow up. So I found that a lot recently, that people are just waiting for you to follow them up to see if you're actually who you say you are and do what you say you're going to do.
Very good point, Josh. Totally agree. And they won't tell you, but they're thinking that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I know we're recording, but let me get this so it's clear. First of all, in the first meeting, whether it's online in Facebook Messenger or in a coffee shop, whatever it is, I mean, treat the first thing online in messaging as if it was a coffee shop. Think that way, and you'll probably get closer to the right conversation. All right? If you're thinking that way. In other words, for example, if I was in a coffee shop with you, Joe, and it's the first time we met, and for whatever reason, okay, and I started talking to you about the CEO movement, I mean, be quite frank, your eyes would glaze over and you think, who's this bastard, right? I mean, he's pitching me right away. And I didn't know anything about you, and I'm just trying to take the opportunity to get you to look at what I'm doing, rather than be interesting rather than interested, okay? In other words, show that I'm interested in you, Joe, okay? Mm-hmm. Tell me more about you. You're the center of my attention. You're the center of this whole thing, okay? By all means, I will answer questions you've got about what I do, but I'd say, look, Joe, we don't just met. I don't want to, I can talk about that some other time. Tell me more about you. Mm-hmm. People don't expect that, right? And by doing that, you are building really good rapport with them, because you are the antithesis of most people, especially on Facebook Messenger, right?
Yeah.
And so be the first to just say, listen, I've got to go. Whether you have a meeting, it doesn't matter. Maybe just say, listen, I've got to go, okay? It's been great chatting with you. When can we chat again, okay? Because I'd love to know a bit more about you. And get it from them. Now, what I do, and you may want to do this as well, after 1 or 2 chat sessions, I've been just messenger things, right? Because that drives me crazy, because I'm a terrible typist. I'll say, Dave, listen, I'm the world's worst typist. Can we talk rather than type? And so I can learn more about you more easily. Would you feel like talking to me? And sometimes people are hesitant to do that because they still don't trust you, right? They're not sure. But sometimes they will. I mean, I'd say it's a split 50-50 that early, right? And if they say, oh, I'm not sure, I'll say, Dave, that's fine. Don't worry. I mean, I can keep typing to you, but give me time, because it takes me a long time to put the typing together, right? And by the way, if there's spelling mistakes, don't blame me. Okay, and 90% of the time they'll come back and say, all right, how can we talk? Now, okay, you can do it on Facebook, you can do it on Zoom, you can do it on Skype, which one do you want to do, okay? And they say, whatever it is. I said, look, okay. And what I do is I send them a calendar link. Here's a calendar link. You set the time, the day that suits you, and then we'll chat. And what we're going to chat about is you, so I can understand, appreciate you even more. And if you want to know more about me, I'm there for you as well. That's all you say.
Right. I've, funnily enough, been getting quite a bit of this with the conversations I've been having, telling them a lot about myself, because that's what they ask probably 90% of the time. Please tell me some more about yourself. So I tell them loads, just enough, and then try and switch it round. So please tell me some more about yourself and your current situation to see how we can move forward, and maybe I can help you.
Right,
have a chat. This is
Right,
where
but they're probably trying to recruit you.
that's where I'm getting stuck. People don't seem to want to have a chat. They just want to keep sending messages.
You mean they don't want to talk?
Yes, sorry, yeah, they don't want to, they'd rather chat in the messenger than get on a call.
Well, my kids are like that. They message their own friends rather than call them on the phone. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, I mean, if that's it, then you can't do much about that. But I'd say, but just be gentle and be patient with them, okay? And just simply say, just raise the issue every now and again. Something like, Joe, okay, I know you feel uncomfortable about talking, but I feel uncomfortable about this typing. How can we solve this?
Yeah, I find as well, Joe, is when they've been asking loads of questions and it gets to a point where they're just asking stupid questions. They're just like, they've got so much of the information. I mean, at the end of the day, we're trying to sell £59 a month. It's not even a lot of money. What I normally do is I just voice clip them and just say like, hey, Joe, look, I really respect your time. I appreciate all your questions, but I'm a really busy guy. I've got lots of people to be talking to. You have all the information you need to make a decision. If there's any way I can help you make that decision, please let me know. We could jump on the phone for 10 minutes. But as for the questions or something along those lines, you know, so it's not an ultimatum and it's not like you're cutting them off, but you kind of show you are busy and you have other things going on. But if you're interested, I would love to jump on a quick 10-minute call to iron this situation out, or I don't know.
And it's probably make them feel a bit more comfortable listening to me rather than just reading my messages.
Voice clips are very, very, very good. I find that if I don't voice clip someone before I ring them, especially people like, again, in my demographic, they just don't ever seem to pick the phone up because I don't know what they're expecting, but they think it could be anybody. Whereas if you voice clip them or video clip them, like, hey, really appreciate your questions. I'd love to jump on a quick 10-minute call. They're like, oh yeah, that's cool. Bang. Then you talk.
And by the way, Josh, very well said. The other point is the message he's giving you, Joe, is the fact that let them know you're busy.
Yeah.
People like to deal with busy people. If you can spend 20 minutes every day answering every question under the sun, then you're not very busy, right? And they're, as Josh said, they're time wasters. So you got to protect yourself on your time. And if they don't like that, well, you know what? They weren't going to be a prospect anyway. Okay. Yep. Right. And David, just back to you, you made a really good point, which I think you could emphasize even more. When you're talking to people, you said something about the fact, I am there for you. I'm not sure the words you said, right? But I will be your mentor. I will make sure I'll take you, or you just reach out to me. I would change that around by saying, I am there for you, okay? And we will take you step by step and I'll be there with you every step of the way. That's, remember, can I do this is in my head. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And you'd say to me, I am prepared to do this for you, Peter, because if you are prepared to really put yourself on the line, okay, and chase something real, then I respect that. I like your entrepreneurial spirit. And I will dedicate some time to you to make sure you get what you want. I'm here for you, okay? You're not going to be on your own. I mean, and you can talk about all the other stuff, right? You both mentioned, you know, you've got a lot of support structures and training, etc. But the main thing is they've got someone they can talk with. And that's you, Dave. That's you, Joe. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Rather than a community, because to be quite frank, when people are new, they don't feel comfortable in a community either, some of them, because they're thinking, oh, who are all these people? But if they know you, David, or they know you, Joe, they feel, okay, well, at least Joe's going to be there or Dave's going to be there for me, okay?
Yeah. I also avoid using the community in the pitch. I just find that people just don't like that at all. They're kind of like, well, they associate communities with cults, in my opinion, or something like that maybe. And they'll have heard, they do though, like, and I think the word, like, in the real world, I have never used the word community, really. I wouldn't call it that. I'd call it my friends or my network. So that's I say like I'm there as a mentor or I'm there to support you. I also have a really strong network of people that can help out too, or something like that. Just, I don't know, that word community. Facebook also has that as a like not a blacklisted word, but a flag word if you're using it in adverts, and if you're using it in posts, they don't really always like that. Just as a side note.
Good point. I mean, at the end of the day, I found this out some time ago when I was trying to promote a Facebook group. Okay, quite often the idea of joining a community, a Facebook group for people, it doesn't turn people on. I mean, there's millions of groups and some people are in hundreds of them anyway, and most of the time it's a waste of time. So instead, this is where I'm taking up where you started, Josh. Instead, I talk about a mastermind. Okay, I can give you an opportunity to join a mastermind of people just like you that have the same challenges as you, have the same standard of knowledge as you. You will feel comfortable with them, but we'll go slowly, okay? So you can find your feet there, and I am with you even in that group, okay? I'll be with you. Does that make sense? Questions?
I don't have any questions, but what I do really like is the idea of treating the first interaction online like you have just met someone in a coffee shop, because I think we get too gung-ho thinking that everybody's ready to be pitched when really most people are on Facebook just to look at their mates and like, don't know, look at information. So if you go all in, heavy hitting opportunity, you're talking about yourself, they don't really know who you are, just keep it like brief, like you would in a coffee shop. Like I do this actually in real life now when you know, speak to people in the line. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, not bad. What brings you here today? Da, 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 da. What do you like to do? Da, 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 da. What do you do? And then they're like, I'm like, oh yeah, I work in a training platform online. It's kind of cool. I mean, it sounds pretty complicated, but really all it is working smarter, not harder. If you want some more information or I'd love to connect more, just grab the coffee. Here's my details. And same sort of thing online. And what they do then is they come to your page when you kind of like keep them at not arm's length, but you keep them away a bit. They're like, that's interesting. And what I find is people come to my page and they absorb all of my content. They go through, read stuff, watch the videos. So then the next time I speak to them, they know my name, they know my voice, and I'm getting way better results with people answering, to be honest.
This is all, what we just went through before is purely for the first conversation though, yeah? Because a lot of the conversations that I've been having, okay, they have to start somewhere, but they've come from a long copy ad that I've put in there with the opportunity for them to click the button at the bottom. So they're already interested.
So hang on, let me get this right, Joe. Your challenge is not building initial rapport. You're good at that, right? You feel happy with that?
Yep.
Okay.
Although there's some bits that I need to polish from listening to this just now. But
okay,
yeah.
That's fine. So your challenge is really to get people to go to the next step.
Yeah. I've had in the last week or so, I'd probably say I've had 65, 70%.
Okay.
Very interested and wanting to know more. And then maybe 20% of them going through the web class.
Okay. Well, if it's appropriate, Josh, then this time next week, we'll do the closing, which really, Joe, that's what you need. You need to, how do you get people from the initial conversation to the point when they make a damn decision, yes or no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, fine, but I agree with that, and I've got it done ready for you. But I want to go through this first to position it right. Is that okay?
Yeah, I think that's good, and I think closing next week is definitely something I want to look at as well. So I think that'd be good timing.
Okay, well, in fact, it might take more than one session, but we'll see how we go, right? Because there's a lot in it. Okay, but I want you just to remember this: keep things simple. Truly, keep things simple, and I'll talk closing next week. But just in terms of building rapport with people, the more effective you are up front, the easier it is to close them. Right? You can be having a conversation on Messenger or even face-to-face, and you can feel if it's sterile. Right? You know if they're not really jumping on board saying, hey, Joe, tell me more, okay? You know they're just going through the motions. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They're the people you're going to have a great deal of difficulty trying to close because, to be quite frank, they haven't shown any real interest up until now. They've asked you a million questions, but at the same time, for example, they haven't taken on board that maybe you haven't challenged them enough. So look at some of the stuff I shared with you tonight, and maybe that'll help, okay? Mm-hmm. My point is this. Most people, you don't have to think about, I mean, I don't even like the word closing, quite frankly, even though I'm a sales coach, right? And we do it for 30 odd years. I don't like the word closing. I like to help people make their own decision. And what they do is I just guide them to make the best decision for themselves. And when they think they've made the best decision for themselves, they don't feel like they've been pressurized at all. And all you've done is guided the conversation. And I'll take you through how to do that next week, all right?
Sounds good, Peter. Really good. I think this has been a really good session. I've got a lot out of this. I've got a whole page of notes, actually, which is good, like always.
Okay. You were a good student last year, Josh.
Yeah.
So that was my session for today, all right? Anything else?
Perfect, Pete. That was really good. Really great.
Okay. Catch up to you next week, eh?